What's up, everyone?
Hello. This is week 3. We've had 2 separate lessons, and our first week was talking about self-concept, and that was our origin story. I hope you remember. Our second week was a little bit talking about positive actions, making sure that we were doing things that were positive, right? That were helpful for ourselves in all of those 4 categories.
Right.
And we'll get into the 4 categories here in a minute. But this is week 3. Managing the physical and mental. I hope you're ready. Let's get started. All right, so our short little recap. Last week we talked about positive actions, right? Which are things we can do to make our lives better, like little habits or actions and to improve ourselves.
And remember, we have those 4 categories: physical, mental, social, and emotional. So this week we're going to have a new activity that we can kind of think about our own self-concepts within those 4 categories in a little bit of a new way.
All right. Our activity, just going ahead and jumping right in. We're going to rate ourselves. You're going to rate yourself. All right. Grab a piece of paper and draw this grid simply by drawing a big cross right there in the middle. All right. Super simple.
Super easy. All you got to do is you're going to write the 4 categories that we just talked about in each of those 4 little quadrants. So first one is going to be physical, right there in the top right corner. Remember, everything with physical has to relate to your body. So it's things to do like how you eat. You know, are you mindful about the kinds of things that you eat? Maybe the types of clothing that you wear, right? How you want to present yourself. Maybe it's how much you like exercise and activity. Are you really a sports person or not? That's kind of the realm of physical.
All right. And next is mental. So that top left corner is going to be mental, right? This has to do with your mind or the intellectual side of you, right? Our brains. It can do with how you think, process information, how well you can write down your thoughts or process information also. It has to do with things like school and handling numbers and those kind of things.
And then under that one, you're going to write social. So remember, social is all about like how you relate to people. How is it that you relate to your friends? Are you someone who likes a lot of friends that are just kind of close? Or do you like just a few very, very close friends? Can you do well in a room of people, right? Do you like crowds or do you prefer very, very quiet spaces with maybe just 1 or 2 other people? That's the realm of social. How are you around other people?
And then we're going to finally write emotional, and that's going to be our bottom right. This is the category relating to your emotions and feelings, right? How do you relate to your emotions? Are you aware of the times when you are feeling or you're acting out, right? Do you realize it after the fact? Is there reflection, right? Do you have a process for reflection? Can you explain the emotions you're feeling to someone else? Can you talk about it, right? Our go-to person, remember that person we mentioned? Can you talk to them about how you're feeling throughout the day, if there was something big that happened or even something small, right? And do you embrace your emotions or do you try to hide them in some other way, right? How do you process those emotions?
And so here's the activity part. What you're going to do is you're going to rate yourself in each of those 4 categories on a scale of 1 to 10. So when you think about your mental self, you might think, I'm not very good at school. You know, I don't really like reading. I don't really like to do my homework. I don't get very good grades or something like that. So you rate yourself pretty low. But you know that you have a ton of friends. It's super easy for you to talk to people. You think you're really outgoing. You have all these friends that you see at school and such. So you give yourself an 8 on that social category. And then physical and emotional, you know, maybe with physical, you like exercising, you like to eat well, but you know you could do a little better. And on emotional, you can recognize your emotions, but sometimes you lash out a little. So you give yourself a 6 and a 5 on those. Think about it in those kinds of terms. And remember, everybody's going to be different. So don't be worrying about what other people are rating themselves as in each of these 4 categories. Try to be as honest as you can with yourself about each of these 4 categories so that you can really get the most out of this as possible.
This activity is for you, right? So you want to be truthful as possible because if there's kind of a tweak of a lie in there, then you're kind of fabricating the numbers, the results, all of that good stuff. So make sure you're honest with yourself because this is for you. Right? We're going to give you a 60-second timer on the screen to get it done. So let's get started. Had that 60 seconds to think about your own self-concept some more, take a look how you rated yourself on physical and mental. Like we have said, everybody is different. You're not going to have the same answers as anybody else, and maybe you do, right? Maybe you're really close with some of your friends, right? Some of y'all might have given yourselves really high numbers on each of these categories, while others may have been a lot lower. Either way, we can always improve ourselves, right? With the right mindset and practices.
Yeah, and one of the best ways to do that is with time management. Often that's one of the big things that keeps us from being successful in our improvement. So today we're going to focus on tools and ways that we can really focus on our time management so that we can be very successful in our future. Now, you may have heard this before, this term time management, and think, well, that's just something older people talk about with like their jobs and careers. It doesn't really apply to me because I'm only 13 or 14. But we want to show you ways that maybe it actually can be really useful for you.
If we start making our time management skills now and having some consistency, then it'll be helpful later on in life. And you'll kind of be one leg up on anybody else that is dealing with some time management skills, right?
Yeah.
So it's a good thing to kind of pay attention towards. Well, using your time wisely, or the intentional use of your time throughout the day to achieve your goals, right? That's pretty important. There's only so much time in a day, right? We all only have 24 hours, so we want to use that time wisely. We want to use it to best to our abilities, right? And often it feels like you have to get something done at every moment you're awake in order to get to sleep at a good time, right? And kind of look at that clock. Now. So always something going on, right? It can feel that way. But if we get a good handle on our time management, then we'll take away that stress out of our lives.
Yeah. What is it that we really need time management for? Well, of course, you need the necessities like eating and sleeping. Those are two things you've got to work into a day to be able to function as a human. But you also need things like schoolwork, right? You got to have that time to get things done for school. Or exercise. That's another place that we really need to carve out some time so that, again, our bodies can function like they're supposed to. But even you need some time for little self-care things like playing video games or watching shows, TVs, movies, whatever it might be for you. Believe it or not, that's a really important part of functioning as a person. And you want to carve out a reasonable amount of time in your day to be able to do those things, because we all need some rest, right? We all need a break from the busyness of everything else that we have to do. It's really nice and important to be able to set some time aside so that we can do the things that actually rest and charge us a little bit more.
And if we have hobbies that already make us feel restful, right, or that kind of show us some self-care, then we're already one step ahead, right? Two birds, one stone there.
Yeah.
In what area do you find it hardest to manage your time, right? We want to partner up with someone and ask that question, right? And so in what area do you find it hardest to manage your time? Is it physical? Is it mental? Is it social? Or is it emotional? Right? Any examples are awesome. So go ahead and turn to your partner, and for about 60 seconds, let's talk about what it is hardest for you.
All right, now that you've had some time to really think about those difficult things in time management, we want to give you some tools on how you can improve those just a little bit more. If you can manage your time, you can manage your life. right? It's pretty simple. To get things done, you need the time to get those things done. And so if you have something really out of balance with your time, it's going to kind of get all of the rest of your life or the rest of your day out of balance. So if you're managing your time,
Productivity is usually the goal when we talk about time management.
right?
One easy way to improve your productivity is to focus on getting the important or difficult tasks out of the way, right? And so think about yourself in a typical day in your life. At what point do you have the most energy? Are you a morning person? Are you an after lunch kind of person? I know I'm not. That's my nap time.
Yep.
Right? Are you an after school or evening person? Try to locate a time of day when you tend to have the most energy and focus on getting the hard stuff done at those times.
Yeah.
Hope that makes sense.
Easy tool for getting things done. And sometimes when the list of things is really, really long and lengthy, it gets super overwhelming because all you can do is look at all the things that you have to do. It's hard to get anything done when everything is really overwhelming. So here's a simple tool that you can use to try to help out with that. Just set some priorities and achieve the most important things first. So let's say, for example, you have like 5 big assignments of homework due in a week. And you're looking at all these things and you're like, I don't really know how I'm going to get all these things done in 1 week. Maybe the best way to think about it is which one is due the soonest. And you want to get that one done first. And then you start focusing on the one that's due after that. And you go about that in that kind of way until all 5 things are done.
And then you tackle the mountain. While you may think I'm only 13, I have no money, you can still think about investing in yourself, right? Because it doesn't just need money, right? It's about time, right? Being productive, going after things that you specifically want to have, right? Or what you want to do. How do you use money when you get it, right? Do you use it on things that express who you are? Is that clothes, right? Maybe decorating your room? Is that maybe purchasing some music and supporting an artist that you may like? Right? Think about some ways you can invest in yourself at your age. How does that look? We're kind of wrapping up. And we're finishing the tools for managing time part of our lesson. Finally, it is important to remember that the key to success is balance, right? Not having anything that outweighs another, right? Earlier, you wrote down ratings for yourself in each of those 4 categories. Focus on the ones that are highest and think about how you can improve those even more, right? Because we can always constantly improve.
Yeah.
And think about your low ratings and focus on how to balance those out with your strengths and resources. Because it's okay if something is outweighing it, but making sure that we actually are aware of that is the important thing to do.
Right. Like it says on the slide, your life is well balanced when your resources, so your time, your money, any other kind of resources you can think of, and your physical, mental, social, and emotional self-concepts all work together in harmony. So take some time this week to really think about your time management and how you can balance these things, right? A key to success really is balance in all of those areas. Take all your strengths in your self-concepts and your weaknesses and think about how you can use time management to improve both of them so they work together in harmony.
I like that word, harmony.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's all we got. Take some time this week to try to really think about that, and we'll see y'all next time.
Have a good week, y'all.